should be like you, Mel?
Ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Cherries fans, wherever you're watching. Welcome back for another edition of Cherry Slaps. This time on a Sunday night, because we were just too excited about the game yesterday to wait another 24 hours. Please welcome my co-host, as always, Malcolm Chiverton. Welcome, Malcolm.
Ollie. Hello, everybody. Hope you're all well. Yeah. Too excited, I suppose, is the right thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure we're going to dive into it in detail. So,
of course, as always. Yeah, as always. There's a chance that we do have some opposition fans coming on tonight, but we shall wait and see. For now, as always, we will get stuck in because I'm not sure if you were watching yesterday. Me and Dazza, the Cherry from Down Under, did do a live watch along, and Malcolm was in the chat thoroughly throughout as well. So do go back and watch that should you want to. But at the time, you would have seen our excitement and our nail-biting edge of the seat second half that we'll definitely get to shortly. But first, for me, what was a bloody confusing first half. So I want to get into the starting lineup first of all, and then we'll jump into the game because we were pretty accurate with our starting lineup from Thursday's guess, were we not?
Yeah, it wasn't so far out, was it? Yes, we knew that it was almost 100% Semenyo wouldn't start. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Gannon Doak wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And Kluivert. And then there's a question of, who would fill the spaces.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm just going to cut you short. Our other guest has turned up, so I just want to welcome them on E20 Zone TV from West Ham. How are you doing, mate?
All good? All good, mate. All good.
Good. What's your name? I can address you properly.
James.
Awesome.
James.
I'm Ollie. This is Malcolm. Lovely.
No worries, mate.
What were you just doing? We're just getting into our starting 11. We did a prediction on ours on Thursday, which we were pretty accurate with, Mal, weren't we? What about your starting 11? Did you come out as expected yesterday?
Was surprised that Guilherme played. Igor and Guilherme were the two surprises for me. We knew Paqueta was going to be out because he's suspended, but Somerville out was a bit of a blow for us. I was surprised that he went through at the back, but it was what it was. He sort of square pegs, round holes situation at West Ham at the minute. So, yeah, that's what it was, mate.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Yeah, a good valuation as well. I think it's tough to come out. I think every team's experiencing it at the moment. The way kind of Bournemouth are coming out and playing at the moment, it's a pretty strong side to come up against, especially at home. So, yeah, I can understand the toughness of it. Mal, obviously, we came out and I mean, the first 15, 20 minutes, possession was entirely in our court. 70+ to less than 30 for most of the game. But we couldn't do anything with it for the first 18 minutes, could we?
Absolutely not. It was just probing, wasn't it, and trying, testing, maybe a couple of half chances, but they were organised enough. West Ham at the back. I didn't see in that first half. To be honest with you, I did not see any problems coming at them at all. That first 45 minutes, okay, there were 2 attempts on goal. Well, they scored. Brilliant from Callum Wilson. Take my hat off to him, mate. It was, he's always been a proper striker, one who knows where the net is. Unfortunately, injuries have been a big part of his career, latter stages. But he seems to have found his niche now, and I hope that they keep him in the starting 11 because they need a goal scorer, and he's certainly the guy to lead the line for me.
I want your opinion on that one, actually, James. The 2 goals from Callum Wilson, because obviously he stands out.
Yeah.
2 goals. He's trying to get picked for the national squad. He's already made that team, the international squad. Those 2 goals, are they? Obviously, the first goal, he's touched it down. I'd say it's bad defending. Is Callum Wilson where you're expecting your goals to come from at the moment?
He's the only one, mate. He's the only one. He's the only geezer that we've got to keep us in the league at the minute. West Ham are in a relegation battle, big time. And yesterday, the first goal is a good shot, but the keeper should save it. I'm going to be real. The keeper should do better. The second one's a top class finish. If that's Haaland, if that's anyone else in the league, it's just a great goal. For me, I thought Bournemouth had all the ball in the first half, but I thought all we had done is scored. That's all it was. Like Bournemouth had all the ball and all we done is score. And it got to sort of a stage where I thought, right, we're in control of this now. We've got the lead and we're all right. Obviously, we all speak about the second half where it was just mayhem. But Callum's the sort of player for us that we're going to rely on. But the problem is he can only do like 60, 70 minutes a game. And we need players for 90 minutes. And the problem is we haven't got anyone on the bench who can come on and really make an impact. Like there's no one really on there who's doing that. So it's a bit of like we've got to wrap him up in cotton wool. But yeah, he done well for us yesterday. He really did.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, secured. Those 2 goals, crikey, they put us on the back foot from 20 minutes in. As you said, it was the only 2 things that I think West Ham did all game, but it was enough for us not to take 3 points. So
yeah,
that's all he's got to do, said and done on the tin, really. Malcolm, ending that first half or kind of going past when the second goal went in, it was all a bit of a whitewash for us, wasn't it? We looked a bit chaotic, unorganised.
Disorganised, I'd say, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I watched the game back again today, all right, second time. So, you can see a little bit more having a second look. So the last 10 minutes of the first half, we were growing into it a bit more. We were starting to find things, but they weren't working. But I thought, well, okay, take it on the chin and then assess at halftime what Andoni does. And he doesn't know he doesn't normally make changes at halftime, does he?
No, that's why we wait for the goal now. Then 6 minutes onwards for our sub bench, essentially.
Yeah, I mean before we sort of dive into that second half, the one thing I would say is, from West Ham's point of view, there was nothing wrong with it, and they should have gone out for the second half as they were in the first. All right, so there was nothing wrong, nothing was broken, so don't try and fix it. Really, and I really thought they would just carry on playing the same way. But then, obviously, James will tell us more because he knows more about West Ham. The thinking, was there any thinking behind the changes?
For me, it was a nightmare, mate. That second half. Listen, Bournemouth are a good side, and I'm not going to take nothing away from Bournemouth. They are a good side. Iola's a very good manager. They've got some decent players in their ranks. But when you take off your attacking threat, you're allowing Bournemouth just to have all the ball, all the press, and just literally dominate us for 40 minutes of that second half. Yeah. The substitution, I'll speak on the West Ham side of things. On the substitution at halftime, it was the right call. Guilherme off, Kyle Walker-Peters on. Fine, I can accept that. The Callum Wilson coming off on the 52nd minute, it makes no sense to me. Makes none. And there's been a bit of an argument in the West Ham community in regards of, is it the right call? Isn't it the right call? For me, it's completely the wrong call. Like Callum's scored 2. He's on form. He's looking for his hat trick. We need some sort of an attacking threat. I think he could stay there for another 15 minutes.
I was about to say, you agree? Because when he came off,
absolutely.
He didn't look happy when he come off the pitch.
Nah, he was far from happy to come off the pitch. And what it was, it just allowed Bournemouth the initiative. And I was doing a watch along on it yesterday, and I was just saying this is just a matter of time, right? The penalty, obviously, we will get to that. But for me, we self-destructed ourselves yesterday. Right? We've done all the hard work. And my attitude is there's two different ways of looking at this. There's a mentality issue, right? On one person's mentality, it will be shut up shop, let's see this out. My mentality would be let's get the third one and then Bournemouth are done. That's it. Like it's game over then because I can't see you scoring 3 against us if we come out and score another one straight away. And the issue is that we just allowed you to come into it, and once you got the first goal back, that was it. Like the floodgates started to open, and we was all over the place, absolutely all over the place. And if it wasn't for a really good goalkeeper that we got, it would have been 6 for you.
Yeah, a big shout out to Areola as well.
Absolutely. Yeah,
bloody hell, he's definitely stopped us from getting the 3 points, and the amount of saves he made without his hands, his leg is going down on the ground like flat out. It's ridiculous. Yeah, kudos to him. I want to bring on to a couple of other penalty. Mal, before I get into the penalty, is there anything that you want to bring up before that? Because I think this is going to be quite a talking point.
Yeah, I mean, I was there scratching my head, to be honest with you. Like Callum coming off, I thought they keep him for a minimum for an hour on the pitch. I know you say 70 minutes, perhaps max, which is okay. They give somebody else 20 minutes. But when you've got no outlet, you've got nobody up front, you're committed. You are committed. And then, no, it doesn't matter how good your midfielders are. Yeah. You know, you're just saying to the opposition, okay, come at us, see what you can do. But I got to give a big shout out to Lewis Cook because he was absolutely awesome yesterday, playing right back. Yeah. And he almost controlled that second half. Everything started more or less from the right hand side with him. Yeah,
he was a voice on the pitch, wasn't he? He was a voice on the pitch.
Absolutely. But having said that, you know that West Ham had some decent players and they had some decent games there yesterday. You know, but it was not about the individual players. It's about the tactics. It's come from the trainer, from the manager, and that's how they throw it away, basically. I wouldn't throw blame at any player. Yes, there's some didn't have a particularly good game, but on the other hand, you had some players there that had the fight, the commitment, the energy, everything that you would expect to have.
I think they was forced, though, to have not bad games, but they was forced to play, make mistakes. That's what it was. Like Nuno had stuck him in a situation where basically when you're going to consistently defend, it's only going to be a matter of time where a goal's going to go in or an incident's going to happen where it's going to lead to a goal. And that's what he done. What I feel with Nuno, what he done yesterday from the West Ham side, I feel like he gambled. He took a gamble. He brought Souček on. He thought, right, we're going to see if we can see this out from the 52nd minute onwards. Basically, give you all the ball and just playing a low block. The issue was we had no outlet, and the weather was getting worse. And the moment you get the goal, it breathes a side of confidence into everyone. Do you know what I mean? And the moment you score the penalty, he brings a sub on. He brings a striker on straight away. So what that tells me is that he tried to see it out on the first sub. When you scored, he brings a striker on to try and go back to normal again. So, you know.
He didn't help the cause, though, did he?
Nah, far from it.
No, and again, the credit's got to be given where credit's due, right? That's hard enough to do on any day of the week. But when you've got a Bournemouth squad that hasn't got its normal starting lineup, so we've already put out 2 strikers together, which we haven't seen before, Evan Nilsson and Krupi. And then we're bringing on players like Jimenez, which is more aggressive, and then more attackers as we go into the second goal. We're constantly pushing. We're constantly in your second half. I think you can tell that by a lot of the stats. Our total passes was 616 compared to 2. That's like just 3 times the amount. That's nuts. even though you guys ran further distance than us and had more long balls. So the breakdown of the stats is crazy when you come to that. But look, I want to look at the penalty because, in my opinion, not only is that a penalty, that is an absolute and utter clear red card. And I want to hear your opinion on that, or the opinion from the West Ham fans as a whole.
I never really thought of it as a red card, if I'm being really honest. I think it's a blatant pen.
Yeah.
I think he goes sliding in. He doesn't even get nowhere near the ball, and he drags the ball with him.
Right.
So along the pitch. So it's a blatant penalty. It's a yellow card, maybe. Right. I don't know about a red. I can't really say. I was more angry at the fact that the way we had sort of let you back in, right? Because you were all over us, but we was riding our luck. But to go and let that one go, it's our mistake again. That allows you to get the goal to then get back into it. It's poor from us, but it's 100% a pen, mate. Like, if that's us in that situation, I'm screaming for a penalty from the West Ham side. So it's 100%.
Yeah, Mal, cards or no cards in that situation?
What's the ruling on it these days? I haven't got a clue. I'm sorry.
Doesn't it, depending on who's
normally, if it's preventing a clear goal scoring opportunity, it's like a foul being the last man. Then it should be red. But like I said, I'm asking the question: what are the actual rules nowadays?
But is it double jeopardy? Is double jeopardy coming into play there?
There is something where they can give a yellow, but also a penalty.
Yeah.
I think they've changed that ruling now, but I'm not 100% certain on how it's interpreted. Or interpreted. It's one of those silly anomalies, isn't it? But it was a clear-cut pen, without a shadow of a doubt. And as you so rightly said, James, that was the moment that let us back into the game, really. Although we were knocking on the door and had been for some while. And I actually said to the guys when they were doing their watch along, it'll just take a moment or something to give us a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think after we came out at half time, you could tell. I mean, from our point, Iriola had obviously had some harsh words. Going down 2-0 at half time. And we come out much more aggressive, a much higher tempo. We were creating much more chances, but still lacked the final winner after Enes Ünal comes on after 342 days of not kicking a football and has 2 touches and scores another bloody goal for us. That is, from our point of view, that's fucking fantastic and epic, right?
I mean, that's a fairy tale really for him, isn't it?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Almost a year out through injury. It's a tough one to have, ACL, for any pro footballer, and it's a long, long, hard road back.
It's been a tough year. James, after the last 7 games we've now drawn against you guys, is this just a continuation for Bournemouth against West Ham? Right?
I said it on E20. I said this is a banker draw, mate. Like the other day,
I actually saw you.
Yeah, and I said it with Craig. I said it's nailed on every single time. Like, it's a sort of place where we go to Bournemouth, and it all depends on how we are, really. Like, we always seem to turn up there. I remember last year when we played Hughes under Lopetegui, it ended up being a draw late in the day. Yeah. Like this year, it was a draw. First game of the season a few years ago, it was a draw. It just seems like it's always a draw. I'm more disappointed with us because we was in control of it and we let it go. And that's a mentality issue for me. That's nothing else about it. Like, that's Nuno tinkering too much, and he sort of took the pee a little bit, if I'm being truthfully honest, and thought he could see it out for 40 minutes of the game. Which, for me, we're in a relegation dogfight, and we're lucky today that Leeds lost.
Yeah.
Because if Leeds would have won that today, them 2 points would have been crucial. Well, we seem to have got away with it, but the issue is with us moving forward is I can't see him do that again, right? And he will do it again because he's sort of known for shutting up shop when he feels like the game is won. But it was never won. It was never won. I know the wind was bad there. The weather was horrendous at Dean Court, but you've got to keep a striker on the pitch as an outlet. And I just feel like once you took off Callum Wilson, and also the substitution of Matthias Fernandes someone who can hold the ball and keep hold of the ball and keep possession of the ball. I just do not understand these substitutions yesterday, and I feel like Bournemouth. If the game goes on for another 5 minutes, Bournemouth win the game. It's as simple as that. Yeah, because he was all over us, and it was like the clock beat you in the end. But if we would, and there's like, it's an hard one to explain, but there's two ways of looking at it. If we lose that game, the West Ham fan base's attitude towards Nuno completely changes because you're in a winning position. You end up losing the game. Because we've drawn the game, it seems like he's got a pass. And it's like a paper over the crack situation.
Right.
For me, I feel like he got away with murder yesterday. He got himself into a situation yesterday where we was winning. And I felt all right. At half time, I was like, come on, let's come out. Let's go for another one. We know that Bournemouth are going to come forward and we can just sort of play on the break. But to make 2 subs in 7 minutes straight after half time, it just doesn't make no sense, mate, if I'm being truthfully honest. And we won't know. We won't know what really happened behind the scenes there. He wasn't injured. It was a tactical switch, but I think Nuno really got it wrong, mate, if I'm being honest.
Okay. And I guess from your point of view, how many times can you risk that happening again? How many times can you keep getting it wrong?
Yeah, it's as simple as that. Like we are in a dogfight with that, and we've got some hard games coming up. Like our next 5 games are Liverpool, Man United, Brighton away, Villa, and Man City. Right, we've got some right, and we need as many points as we can. Now, when you asked a West Ham fan at the start of the game, would you have took a point? They would have done. Right, Bournemouth's in our place to go and win. Last time Nuno was there, he got hammered 5-0 with Forest. So, you know, and I called it on the preview with Craig. Right, I said it's going to be a nailed-on draw. Whatever happens, whoever's going in the front, it's going to end up being a draw eventually. But it's just the context of it, I think, needs to be looked at. Like, because you can't keep going to a place, going 2-0 up and thinking you can just shut up shop. And I said this on my sort of afterthought that I did. I feel like Nuno got in the lead so early, he didn't know which way to go. It's as simple as that. He didn't know whether to attack or defend, and he had to make his mind up. And where he had a 2-0 lead, it was like a nosebleed to him. Like, he didn't know what to do. Yeah. So it was he decided to shut up shop and wait. And then obviously when you scored, and I'm going to be honest, Bournemouth were excellent yesterday, consistent passing through the lines. And if it wasn't for Areola, like, you win 4, maybe 5-2. Like, easily. Do you know what I mean? He made some great saves yesterday, and he kept us in the game. But we can't keep relying on that as a last man.
There's absolutely no doubt. If it wasn't for your goalkeeper, we wouldn't have gone in second half 2-2 without a shadow of doubt. Mal, I do want to ask you, which is interesting, leads us on to this point. Obviously, final stats of 28 shots for us. I think 11 for West Ham. I think 23 of those came for us in the second half. What was really the turning point for us? Was it the penalty or was it Ünal coming on? Because for me, there was still a kind of quiet, organised build-up to the penalty, which is fantastic. But after the penalty, there was no immediate thought of a goal. It didn't look like we were going to get it straight away. It kind of only looked like the aggression turned up a notch when we brought Ünal on. What's the opinions there?
I mean, I'm just looking at the players that came on. Obviously, second half when Christie came on, that did make a difference. Adley for Brooks after an hour, and then the penalty came 8 minutes later, which is quite interesting thing, really. But then we played on to the 80th minute. Now, although we were playing, we were having a go, we were knocking on the door, but it wasn't as though like this last 10, 15 minutes, so going into added time, where we actually threw everything at you, at West Ham. But it was still one-way traffic. Occasionally West Ham could break out, but, even with the long hoof, the ball just come bouncing back because they had nobody to hold the game up.
Yeah, so, but I mean, if you remember the end of the first half, but the end of the first half looked like a 90-minute sprint. It looked like at the end of the first half, we had a bit of extra time left till the end of the game, and we were pushing and dogging hard for a goal in the final third every single time. And we were excessive about it and just constantly lacking that final bloody finish. Does that I really want to point this out, and I know it's going to be another unpopular opinion. Evan Nilsson's up front there for us. He still hasn't slotted away a goal. What's our issue with him at the minute? And why isn't he finishing? Because he had a number of chances and opportunities on.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there are those fans that are knocking him because, first of all, they talk about the 40 million. The price tag doesn't bother me, and I don't think it bothers him. Yesterday, he had some good blocks against him. He had the clear chance before the handball.
He did, yeah.
All right, so you could say possibly 95% chance of scoring. So it's not as though he's not in the positions. All right, his play up front, what he does for the team is still the same, you know. But yeah, I think yesterday showed first half and second because it's I would say it's very valid. West Ham had the wind behind them.
Yeah.
Second half we had it. Now whether you're going into wind or behind you, you watch the ball and how many players mistimed the control of it, taking it down from both sides and going in both directions.
Yeah.
That must have been a bloody awful game for all the players. You know, simple mistakes, and people say, how can they do that? They're professionals, but you bring the elements into it. You know, I'm not making excuses for the players.
The whole of Bournemouth Gardens actually did flood yesterday, so it wasn't just a little bit of rain on the game. The pretty much Bournemouth was underwater. So it was
But it was, you know,
that's for sure.
But watching it back a second time, you see all this. You know, you see so much more on a second watch.
Yeah.
You know, I try to ignore what the commentators say because you got most of that anyway. But no, I mean, it was still, you know, even a second watch, it was bloody great to watch.
Yeah.
I have to say to James, although I'm a Cherries fan, I always watch football as a neutral, all right? Because there's two teams playing. All right, you got to watch what the opposition are doing, not just your own.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I thought, wow, you know, give me more games like this every week, please.
It was very old. It was very old-fashioned game of football yesterday, like slip sliding and tackles flying everywhere and everything. When I look back at it, for me, I look at the Callum Wilson substitution that changed it for yous. That's what I think it is. I think yous were good in the first half, but I think we had Joe a bit under control. Like I don't remember really used to having to have loads of shots with Areola. Not like, and then if you watch the first half to the second half, it's night and day. Yeah. It's completely night and day. Like you you're bombarding us with everything in the second half. In the first half, we was pushing you wide and was making sure that like your star players weren't doing any damage to us. Do you know what I'm saying? But the second half, it just felt like the moment Wilson goes off, we just start retreating. I've never seen a 6 at the back at West Ham ever, and it was like 6 across the 18-yard box, and it was like
at times
it was bad. For us, it was bad because I feel like after the Villa game that you had a few weeks ago, right, and us going 2-0 up, I was thinking, like, we get another one, I think it's done. And then to just give it away the way we did, and not only. It's not being disrespectful to Bournemouth because I think Bournemouth deserved to win the game in the end. Like they was by far the better side and they was literally dominating us. But to be in a winning position and to just give it away, and us giving it away also doesn't do us any favours. I thought it was just poor.
But I think at the end of the day, you've got to be happy that you've come from where you were starting the season and then having 2 wins and a draw in the last 3 games. It's pretty good.
I think the last 3 games we've got 7 points out of 9. Right, we beat Newcastle, beat Burnley, obviously drew with Bournemouth. For me, the next 5 are hard. They're massively hard. Liverpool are going to want to give someone a kick in. We've got them next at the LS, and that's going to be tough.
Away as well.
You got Manchester United away. You got Brighton away. You got Aston Villa at home. And you got Manchester City away. So 3 points would have done us the world of good there yesterday. Do you know what I mean? Because it would have given us a bit of a blanket to say, right, we can go into the Liverpool game as a free hit. I believe now we need to get something out of this Liverpool game. Because what it is with Leeds, Burnley, I think Wolves are gone. Leeds and Burnley, if they get one win, that piles the pressure on us. And the one thing we don't want to be is cut adrift, right? We was cut adrift a few weeks ago. We managed to pull ourselves back. The next 3-4 games, we don't want to be in that situation. Do you know what I mean? So I'm happy with, listen, right, to get something out of the game's great. Yeah, but the context of it, I think we just let it go, which is a shame.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, completely fair. And again, I think I echo some of your thoughts in regards to the table. A couple of dodgy periods now, and you could be looking scared going into the second half of the season, right? But
yeah,
I mean, the difference between you at the moment and fifth is 10 points. You know, so between now and Christmas, fuck me, anything could change. You could have big teams lose. You guys could creep points in against Liverpool. You get a draw against City. Anything's possible in this realm of football. So yeah, mate, fully excited to see what's to come, especially with those fixtures coming up. They're not the easiest. In regards to standout players, obviously Callum Wilson scored the 2 goals, and your keeper was absolutely on fire. He's the man of the match for me, your keeper. But other than that, Owen, for me, when he came on, made a bit of an impact. Anyone else really, from your point of view as a fan?
I thought John Clare Todibo done well yesterday. The centre half, I thought he handled Evan Ilson, is it? The striker for Hughes, I thought he done all right. I was a bit worried about Todibo, I'll be honest with you, because when he gets a yellow card, I was thinking, please, now he's on a yellow card, don't get sent off. I thought he done all right. I thought Max Kilman was awful yesterday. Really bad. Obviously, he's the one who handles the ball for the penalty. He allows the Turkish lad to sort of spin with him and Igor together, which leads to the second goal. I thought he was poor. I thought Freddie Potts done all right yesterday. He's a young lad who's got a bright future. But I think what it is with us, it was like a bit of a smash and grab with us, right, to try and get something. And then the second half was just like complete domination from Hughes. But obviously, Bournemouth were just pushing the ball around everywhere, and it was very hard to sort of pick up. And the manager that you've got, I've always said this to Craig, I think he's a top class manager. I think he's the replacement for Pep, if I'm being honest. And I think when City decide to let Pep go, I think they will come after him. But he is a good manager. He gets the best out of players, and with Bournemouth's sort of structure, which I do believe that he's one of the best structures in the league. And you can go and sell players and still manage to maintain a quality of a standard at your club. Is a lot better than ours. So, fair play to you, mate.
Yeah, appreciate that, mate. Appreciate that. Malcolm, stand out.
I'll just ask James something. Yeah. So going forward, you're going to be looking at the clubs around you. Those are the games that you need to take points off.
Yeah, 100%, mate. 100%. Like we've got a busy Christmas period coming up, and then basically after Christmas Day, we've got 3 games that will really determine where West Ham are going. Fulham at home, Brighton at home, Wolves away. Then 3 games will decide, for me, where West Ham are heading. One thing with West Ham United, whatever happened, they will fight to the end, and they always do. They always do. Every time they've gone down, I've seen West Ham go down in 2003, and they've been a side that, well, it's always fought all the way to the last day. I just hope that certain games this year that we've let go and we've give away don't come back and haunt us a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think we've got to get to Christmas Day, and we've got to be within. If we're 4 points behind the pack and we're 4 points adrift, I'll accept that right now, because I think West Ham can go and win back-to-back games. If West Ham are 7 points behind, then it becomes a bit of a mountain, because the goal difference ain't doing us no favours either. So it's gonna be a push, mate. It is. I think it's out of us 4, really. I think it's out of. I think Wolves are gone. I think it's Burnley, Leeds, us, and that's it. Really, like I don't see anyone else who's going to drop in there. I think Brentford will have enough to pull away. Newcastle will be fine. Everton will be fine. So it's basically out of us and Leeds, really. Right, whoever going to stay in the league. And the last game of the season is West Ham United versus Leeds at the London Stadium. And that's the final game of the season. So yeah, brace yourself for that.
It could be a decider.
Yeah. I'm a bit nervous about West Ham this year. I am, because I think we've rode our luck for a few years on this one. I think the January window is going to be key to the whole situation. If Nuno doesn't get back to the January window, I think it's over. I think we're in trouble. And the thing is, we're relying on people like Callum Wilson who can only do an hour, and you need players for 90 minutes in the Premier League. So we're going to have to ride our luck. We're going to have to grind out some results. And I just hope Nuno doesn't do what he done yesterday. Let's put it like that, because I think he will do it again. And I think next time it will cost us next time. And the reaction in the fan base will be completely different to how it was yesterday. Like, because if he does it again and we lose the game, people won't be happy. Far from it.
No, yeah, agreed, mate. Agreed. Yeah, crazy time for you moving into the future for sure. And yeah, fucking daunting. Absolutely daunting. Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. There's a couple of concerns in the table at the moment with Forest obviously having recent wins, Newcastle getting a couple of points in the last few games, even Fulham pulling out 2 wins in their last 4 so far. But a lot of the season left to go, mate. A lot of the season left to go. And fingers are crossed for you. For sure.
What do you use, before I make a move, what do you reckon in regards of West Ham? Do you reckon West Ham will go down this year?
Oh, I don't think so. They were never in my... So we actually did a top tier list show back in pre-season. And for me, West Ham weren't in the bottom 3. I still think, and even looking at this table, I hate to say the unpopular opinion, I still think they'll finish above Newcastle, mate. I don't think Newcastle... I think Newcastle are going to have a couple of good games here and there, but they're also not looking great at the minute. You know, Fulham have got a long way to pull out. Everton have only just started getting results. I don't know, man. This season to me feels a bit like a Leicester City when they won, and anything could change in the space of 1 month with the games.
Yeah,
and I can't see it happening to West Ham this season. I don't know about you, Mal.
Well, I mean, I think the tier list said it all, really. I mean, we said Burnley and Leeds. We said that Sunderland wouldn't go down; that they would be one of the promoted teams to stay up.
Yep.
And it was a question of who else. Now, obviously, Wolves have taken pole position now.
Yeah.
And I think, I can't remember exactly what position.
Everton was at the bottom there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a couple, and we couldn't decide, you know, at what level in the table they would end up. I mean, West Ham were in the bottom half, I know that. I think you guys will be okay.
Yeah.
I take your point about the January window. Who are they going to get in? Have they got eyes on somebody? Are they prepared to put money on the table?
Yeah, because what it is, we've got a lot of problems with our... I don't know if you have seen it, but we've got a lot of problems with our owner at the minute.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of people that don't want the owner here. And it's basically like the fight is basically the fan base against the owner. And there's only ever going to be one winner in that in that argument. The January window is key to the whole situation. If West Ham get investment and get some 3 or 4 players in there, West Ham will find themselves out of trouble. The issue is, I think with the January window, it's one of the awkwardest windows to sort of get business done. We need the players now, not later. We've got an African Cup of Nations coming up, which is going to be crippling for us, because we've got 2 Wan-Bissaka and Diouf will both be leaving to go to that. So we've got no fullbacks. So it's going to be a busy time for West Ham. The issue is that I feel with West Ham, as a West Ham fan, is it feels like it's always 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Like we do the hard work and then we give something away and then we're back to square one again. Now, there's 2 ways of looking at it from yesterday's game, right? Moving into new games, is our mindset going to be going back to that and keep going back to that sort of retreat mentality when it should be the other way, when you should be looking to kill a team off rather than trying to defend it for your lives, basically. So it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, I don't want West Ham to go down, but I think we're playing with fire this year. I really do.
Yeah, dangerous place to be, mate. Dangerous place to be.
It's not a nice watch. I mean, we've been there, haven't we? We know what it's like. So.
Haven't we just, mate? Yeah. And we've been there with the defensive play, with the trying to hold leads, with the losing them at the last minute. Christ, we've had it tons of times for Eddie and Gary and all the others. But yeah, we understand the feeling. Just before we kind of start to close down, Mal, I wanted to know your standout players in yesterday's game.
Ariola is mine. without a shadow of a doubt. You know, I've got to say, I haven't seen a keeper's performance like that. It doesn't matter how you stop them. All right, it doesn't matter. I mean, goalkeepers these days, they use the term like they do here in Germany. They're like handball goalkeepers. You know, so like spread your body, use your arms, your legs, make yourself like a star or whatever. Just get to the ball. But he was awesome. A couple of times he could have caught the ball, but he chose to punch, which is okay. You know, but he was geeing up his defence all the time. Come on, keep this going. But that save from Krupi, wow. You know, that had goal written all over it, and how we got a foot to it, I don't know. Absolutely awesome. But yeah, for me, he was the standout player, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Kudos and hats off for sure. He's definitely going to be in the limelight after yesterday's game in January, mate. That was quality. Yeah, James, thank you very much for coming on the show. Obviously, more than welcome on the next leg of the games.
No worries at all, mate. No worries at all.
Please do give your show a shout out. It's E20 Zone TV, isn't it? That's right.
That's correct, mate. E20 Zone TV. I done an afterthought yesterday. I wasn't best pleased because I felt like we give it away, but I done a little player ratings this morning, and I sort of give like sort of an honest assessment of the whole game, all the players and everything. So yeah, go and check it out. E20 Zone TV.
Yeah, absolutely will do, mate. Awesome. But by all means, stay on when we do the videos, as we'll come off the podcast and have a little chat after. But for everyone listening and watching, thank you so much for joining Cherry Snaps again. We'll be back. Oh no, we might not be back next week because I've got a baby due in 8 days. So it might be Malcolm hosting next week. Actually, we'll see.
Oh no! Oh no!
But either way, have a great week. You'll see me on Cherry AM Tuesday morning and Thursday morning. So have a great evening. Goodbye for now. Thank you all.
Thanks very much. Take care.
TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
I should be like you, Mel.